All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the snacks. My name is Mark Evans. I'm one of the co-organizers of the MESH conference. Hope everyone's having a great day. So far, so good? Great. So it seems that we're going from strength to strength. So we started off with a great session with Mark Sermon. Gabe obviously was rocking the house. I moderated the influencer panel, and that seemed to go really well. And now we've come to the session on Facebook and turning likes into purchases. Now, one of the sort of philosophical approaches to MESH is that we don't invite speakers to come back on a repeated basis. We really like to discover fresh faces and people who have interesting perspectives, but there are always exceptions to the rule. So at last year's MESH, we asked Janice Diner to come and talk about Facebook pages, which were a relatively new phenomena. People were still trying to explore them, and I don't think many people in the house really had a sense of what to expect. We put Janice in the small room. Needless to say, it was a mistake because the room was packed, and she held that audience in rapt attention for an hour, and we could have gone for about an hour and a half. And then we thought, well, Janice is so good, why don't we invite her to MESH Marketing in November? And again, same thing. So we thought, well, you know, three's the charm, right? So we'll invite Janice back again, but this time with a bit of a twist. Instead of looking at Facebook pages, which we sort of all get these days, it's this whole idea of F-commerce and the idea that Facebook is turning into a giant and very powerful e-commerce platform. And so I'm looking forward to this because I feel like I'm going to school. My pen is full of ink. I got lots of paper. And so I'm really excited about this. Now, before I let Janice take the stage, one final housekeeping note is that at the end of MESH today, there is a wrap party sponsored by Edelman. It's at the John Labatt Room, which is on Queens Quay. There will be shuttles that will take all of us from here to there. And I hope you guys can enjoy us and sort of celebrate MESH and celebrate connecting and new networking. So it's my pleasure to announce, we'll bring on the stage Janice Diner. Thanks, Janice.
And really a special thank you to all the MESH guys. It's great to be here a third time, and it's a phenomenal event and phenomenal experience. I want to start with a bit about who I am. I grew up in the ad business as a creative director, traditional ad agency, agency brat, when I was creative director at Siegel Communications, which was part of the Interpublic network, we got the advertising rights to a little-known property. And that little-known property was Facebook. And just to put it in perspective, it was 2006. There was 40 staff at Facebook in California and 200,000 Canadians in the space. Essentially, nobody knew what Facebook was. And we were out selling it, and we built the first applications, first pages, a whole bunch of things in the space. And I've been very fortunate professionally to work on a bunch of brands and businesses in both on Facebook and in the social media space like this. I want to start with a story. A few weeks ago, the phone rings at the house, and it's Stephanie. And Stephanie wants to know, can she help me with my cruise? And I'm thinking, who are you, Stephanie? And I look at my husband who's at the table, and I'm going, are we going on a cruise? Like, I don't know about this cruise. And I get back on the phone, and I go, I'm not going on a cruise. She goes, yes, you started to book a cruise online. And I go, oh, I did. I did start to book a cruise online. I was doing some research for a client in the travel sector, and I stumbled on Carnival's Facebook page. And on Carnival's Facebook page, I can book my travel. A full booking engine integrated into Facebook. I can pick my destination, pick my cruise, pick the type of style of trip I want, see the room, share it with friends. And in order to take pictures, I went all the way through the experience. I put my name down, I put the name of my husband, my kids, I filled out all the information. I went right to purchase, right up until the credit card, but then stopped. So 12 hours later, Stephanie called. Stephanie called and asked me if she could help me finish my booking. Okay, she called me on the phone. So this is so in this one instance, we saw billboards, we saw a fully integrated Facebook commerce solution that ran completely inside Facebook that was similar in experience to their .com site, and it was integrated to their back end. So the customer service picked up the phone and called me and asked me if they could help me. And then when she finished, she sent me an email telling me that she is my personal cruise planner. So now I have a new BFF who's my personal cruise planner. But this is just an amazing, and she did not know, interesting to note, she didn't know that I had actually done the booking on Facebook because it didn't matter. I was a customer, and she needed to close the sale, and she was calling me to close the sale, and it didn't matter where I came from. So this is what we're talking about. This is just an excellent example of what's happening in the space, and obviously this is a very big example of a very integrated, robust experience. But so it's around early to August, in August, Mark said, if I guess social commerce is the next area to really blow up, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing commerce in a big way on the Facebook network. And we're seeing it in all different kinds of businesses. It's not just retail. We're seeing it in packaged goods. We're seeing it in any celebrity status. So any musician, Lady Gaga, Harry Potter, the movies, everyone's selling goods on Facebook tabs, in shopping tabs, okay, in a very large way. And just to give you a sense of numbers, the social commerce market is growing fast, and estimated revenues are set to 30 billion US globally in the next 5 years. And another sort of important feature of all of this is virtual goods. I'm going to talk a bit about Facebook credits. 1.2 billion is the projected size of the US virtual goods market. That is buying things inside social games like Farmville and Cityville, a bit of what Gabe talked about. I'm going to extend that conversation a little bit. Now, for definition purposes, social commerce is a subset of electronic commerce that involves using social media, online media, that supports social interaction and user contributions to assist in the online buying and selling of products and services. When you think about it, shopping is inherently social. We shop with our friends, we shop with our significant other, we shop with our parents, we shop with our kids. In the past, commerce online, e-commerce, has been inherently non-social. It's been more like a catalog experience, right? So with this, we're merging the two, and except for maybe recommendations, which we're going to talk about in a social context, e-commerce has largely been catalog shopping online, and that's about to change. So when you think of F-commerce, is what is commonly being called, which is Facebook commerce, is a further subset of e-commerce referring to commerce that is executed inside Facebook, but also influenced by Facebook. So I'm going to show you stuff that's happening inside the platform and stuff that's happening in the open platform. And you know, when you think about shopping, right, it's content and it's engagement as well. We talk about things before we buy them, we talk about things while we buy them, and we talk about things after we buy them. We talk about what we buy all the time. It's part of our, I don't know, I guess our DNA. So we've divided into two, it's largely divided into two pieces. Commerce on Facebook, which is commerce within the four walls. So I take my credit card, I use my credit card inside Facebook to purchase real-world goods with some form of monetary system, generally a credit card. Off commerce is commerce with the open graph, which is like likes and shares, and Facebook Connect, and it looks something like this. So we have commerce inside stores, we have commerce happening with Facebook credits, we have commerce in the open graph, we have check-in deals that launched last November. If you check into stores, you can get a deal at the store. We're seeing commerce leak into bricks and mortar stores. I'm going to show you some examples of things happening in store. And I guess 2 weeks ago, Deals on Facebook launched in 5 cities in the US and is moving its way up north here over time. So let's take a look. I have a bunch of examples I'm going to show you. It's mostly pictures. So retailers. Retailers are putting in not necessarily their whole catalog. Let's say if you take a look at Land's End, it's just the swimsuits for this summer. If you take a look at ASOS, which is a large UK retailer, they added 150,000 items into their Facebook store in January. So their full catalog, and every time they update inside Facebook as well. So it's not replacing their current shopping channel. It's just if my consumers are spending this, if 600 million people are spending time inside Facebook, why shouldn't they be allowed to or be able to purchase where they are? It's actually that simple. So I'm going to go through a bunch of examples. Another interesting thing that's happening is it's not just retail. This is CPG category. Packaged goods are actually selling products inside Facebook or sampling products or giving consumers exclusive access to products. It started with Pantene last year. When they did a sampling program inside Facebook, they sold Pantene to consumers inside Facebook. It continued with Pampers. And then most recently, Heinz in the UK is selling limited edition balsamic vinegar ketchup to consumers inside Facebook. So if you want to get it first, you get it on Facebook. A little bit more